Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Tuesday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today I'm going to talk about autism, life skills and becoming a auntie. Recently a lot of you know that I became an auntie to twins, one boy, one girl. And I want to talk about it from a autistic perspective to help you guys better understand what it's like to become an auntie or to become an uncle in some cases for you men who become uncles, but from an auntie perspective of helping to raise two children and helping to support my sister, the mother, has really taught me a lot of new life skills, a lot of new independence and a lot of new social skills and a lot more new patience skills to teach myself, because being an auntie is a really big responsibility. Being an auntie is something that I've had to adapt to, and it's more easier this time around than it was adapting to when my little nephew Kai was born, but now he's nearly 13, so now having the new twins that have come into play is really, really exciting, because helping to support their upbringing and who they are as people and who they're going to become as people later on as they start getting a little bit older and adapting to the world, seeing how they are now, how they're acting only being 4 weeks old. They've got the most adorable personalities, the most adorable little smiles, and just the way they let me cuddle them and hold them and feed them, and being able to be their auntie, to be their role model, to be someone that they look up to and respect, and someone that they're going to love having time with and being around, and being able to spend time with me and hugging me and kissing me. And it's just really, really made me think about life in a totally new, different perspective. Being an auntie is something that I absolutely cherish the world of. I absolutely love being an auntie. I love the fact that I can sit with them and feed them and hold their little hands and kiss their little heads, and I can sit there and help take responsibility for helping to make sure they're dressed and to make sure that they are safe with me holding them, making sure I have their heads positioned on like my arm in a certain way so they don't sit uncomfortably or whatnot. And the fact that being autistic, it can be seen as a really overwhelming task of adapting to two new babies, two new different sounds, two new different smells, and it can be. I'm not saying it hasn't so far been a little bit overwhelming, but for me, I've really adapted to it quite naturally, because obviously I've already been an auntie once, and now I'm being an auntie again a second and a third time. So for me, it's become more natural and more quicker for me to adapt to how to look after them, and pushing the buggy and making sure that everything is good with their bottles when I go around to my sister's house to support her. And me and my sister get on a lot more better now. Like, we're more closer and we talk more and we sort things out together more, and we're not at each other's loggerheads as we used to be sometimes. Back in the day when we used to argue a little bit, we used to be at each other's loggerheads. It used to be a constant screaming match. But now we've grown up, we live apart, and I'm able to be there for her as the sister and the auntie, and I'm able to sit there and feed them and look after them and watch them while my sister goes to take her shower or she goes to get dressed from having a shower. You know, I'm able to sit there and make sure that they're okay. They've got their dummy, they've got their blankie. You know, I'm able to sit there and physically look after them and make sure that I'm okay with them, and make sure that my sensory needs are taken care of, that I'm okay to sit there and to be trusted to look after them and raise them the proper way. And you know, being an auntie is such a special responsibility. I think a lot of people take that for granted. Having that bond with them, having that love with them, that compassion for them, that empathy for them is so, so special to me. And I'm very, very lucky that I've become an aunt again, and being able to go through all that process of learning my emotions, learning how to control my emotions, learning to control my behaviour, and learning to make sure they know that I'm a safe person to be around and to spend time with, and to know that Auntie Gemma is a little bit different and that Auntie Gemma behaves a bit different, and that, you know, she doesn't see the world as how they see it, and that's okay. And they're going to realise that Auntie Gemma is a little bit of a different person, that I offer my little bit of quirks and my different perspective on the world, and hopefully they'll learn to adjust to what that is when they're old enough to know about what autism is and how to learn it and research it and understand it and ask me any questions they may have about it. And I feel really blessed and lucky I'm able to spend time with them, I'm able to talk to them, and they're able to learn who Auntie Gemma is. And both of them have fallen asleep on my chest, they've both fallen asleep on my shoulder, they both make me feel like I'm a special person that can be trusted. And also making sure that I'm able to physically feed them their bottle, make sure that they're winded afterwards by me slowly tapping their back like this, and being able to make sure that they burp at the end of it, and knowing that I've done that to make them feel better, and then help gently soothe them back to sleep, and make sure that they're happy, and make sure they've got their dummy and their blankie, and make sure that they know that Auntie Gemma is going to be around for a long time. They know that Auntie Gemma is going to be there to support them and love on them and cherish them and adore them and love them and be compassionate with them and have empathy for them, and take them out once they're old enough in their pushchair and the buggy, take them out to the local park, take them out to a local McDonald's, take them out to see the duckies and things like that, and be able to do the things that I did with Kai when he was a little man, and be able to show them bits of the world in the locality that I'm in, and be able to show them that Auntie Gemma's fun, and have a lot of shopping trips with them, and be able to take them out and get them their football shirt and things like that. And it just makes me so lucky that I'm able to sit and be an auntie with them, and knowing that I'm a good person to be with them, and that they understand that Auntie Gemma is going to be such a fun person, and that I can get forward to meeting their little personalities, and getting forward to knowing how much they're going to understand me, and how I get to spend time with them, and how each time is going to be more and more special each time I get to spend with them, and realising their little personalities right now are so sweet, so innocent, and the fact that they smile at me, and they look at me with their eyes wide open, and I'm just like, wow, like seeing these little eyes and these little tiny heads, like it's really, really sweet. And being able to see when they stretch and they open their mouth at me, like looking at me, and just these like little intimate moments and details, and it makes me so blessed and lucky knowing that I'm an aunt again, and being able to be that responsible figure, that authority figure, that figure that they're going to love hanging out with, they're going to spend time with, and eventually come over for sleepovers, and spend some time with me and watch TV with me. And I'll be able to, obviously when they get older, take them to school and be able to pick them up from school and that kind of stuff. It makes me realise that time is so short, and you have to make the best of it and make the most of what these children are going to offer me, and knowing that Auntie Gemma is going to spend every nook and cranny bit of time that I can with these twins, knowing that Auntie Gemma loves them and cares for them, and she wants to have fun. She wants to make sure that I'm part of their lives, that I'm there to support them through every decision, and they can come to me for advice, and that I'm always going to be there to love on them and cuddle them and hug them and kiss them and reassure them, and be there when they take their first steps, and make sure that they know that Auntie Gemma adores the absolute world that they live on, and that these twins have given me such a newfound deep love of what love is, and my emotions, what love is from me to them, and knowing how much that they know I love them, and the fact that they know Auntie Gemma is going to be the strong one for them, and that I'm going to be around for them, and it's really made my life think in a new perspective, because these twins mean everything. Like, these babies are everything to me. Like, these little twinnies have changed how I see things, and I've got so much more deeper love for them, and affection for them, and love for them, and every little time I get to speak with them and see them, and just hold them in my arms, and knowing that they're going to grow up one day knowing that Auntie Gemma fed them and winded them, and that I was there to put them in their little bouncy chairs, and I was there to put them in the car seats, and that I was there to be supportive. And I'm really proud of that, because someone with autism, things like that can be really overwhelming, knowing how to care for the baby, knowing how to wind them, how to sit in the right position, how to make sure you don't use a too loud tone with them, making sure that you're not too overbearing, or that you do too much like rocking with them, or that you don't potentially make them be ill, and being careful with the way that you pick them up. And I've had to learn all these different ways of picking them up, putting one hand underneath the bum, one hand underneath the head, and lifting them up and then putting them down back into their cribs and stuff. And it's really meant a lot to me, because knowing that this is a very special responsibility, and knowing that I'm going to be very lucky to have these twins in my life, that they're going to know that Auntie Gemma absolutely adores the world of them, and knowing that I absolutely care for them, and that I'm they're just everything to me. They are adorable, they're cute, they're beautiful, they're funny. Even though they're little now, so they can't speak, but they have their own personalities, the way they smile and the way they wriggle their noses, and the way they look at me, their little eyes when they're open, and they look at me and they say, "Hello, you weird human." It's so good to see their eye expressions and the way that when they're feeding their bottles and they proper suck on the little teat things like that. And it's just so good to see that they're actually taking in the vitamins and the milk and everything in that, so that you're actually helping to feed them and to strengthen them. So yeah, please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.